Go ahead and grab your book at get your book at bit.ly/action times 10x, or visit me, Ryan Roy, at ryanroy.me. Welcome. Hello, live viewers. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Today, I am reviewing Chapter 7 of the 10X Rules. Shelly D. Harris, thank you so much for coming in. I have been reviewing this for the last 6 days now, during the week, Monday through Friday. It is a phenomenal book by Grant Cardone called the 10X Rule. So, if you are interested in taking massive action in your life, or you know people who want to take massive action in life and are having a hard time doing it, we will be reviewing this book for the next is 23 chapters. Irina, how are you doing? Great to see you. Thank you so much for stopping in. Today's day 7, 10X Rule, and the chapter is the 4 degrees of action. 10X Rule, Grant Cardone. So I'm going to hop in. If you guys want to invite it out with your followers, please feel free to do so. You are great. You're always great. Thank you so much for being here. COD, I think is what it was. Thank you so much for joining. If you are absolutely new to my scope, put a 1 in the box and let me know what your name is so that I could acknowledge you. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Ryan Roy. I'm an accountability coach. I help people get into action by holding them accountable to their actions and taking massive steps in their life. Why do we do this? I call myself a success coach. I'm interested in you having success in your life. And the only way we have success is by taking the steps necessary to have success. And too many people don't know what success is they want. So I help them define that, break it down, and make them move forward. So we are going to do Chapter 7, 10X Rule. Let's do it. The number one question that Grant Cardone gets as he starts the chapter is, how much action is necessary in order to have success? And he says everybody's looking for a shortcut. Because if you're saying to yourself, how much action do I have to take? You know what? That's saying, okay, if I just do that, I'll have success. And it all depends on different situation. There are absolutely no shortcuts to success. Put a 1 in the box if you fully understand there's no shortcuts to success. Because even those people, let's say someone a total like windfall in luck, who have had uber success, or people say financially, someone who wins until you actually succeed and continue. There you go. So people who win the lottery, professional ball players, right? They come from almost nothing. They get millions of dollars, and then we read 10 years later after they're retired, guess what? They're broke again because they hit a winning ticket and they don't know how to manage all that. Live, eat, breathe until you get there. That's it. Live it, eat it, breathe it, and then get to it. Thank you so much, Irene. I appreciate that. The only thing that gets you there is discipline, consistent, and persistent actions that get you there. And then maybe another combination of things. The 4 areas of action that he describes here, the 4 degrees of action as he describes it, and we're going to go into depth on each one of the, is 1, we can do nothing. A lot of people do nothing, and we will talk about that. Then we could do 2. We could actually retreat from success as fear of success. And a lot of people will get really close to success and they'll be like, whoa, I don't want anything to do with that, and retreat. And we all do it in one way, shape, form, or another in our lives. And don't think that you don't do it, because as I was reading, I'm like, man, I do this. I don't like that I do that. How can I shift that mindset? So I'm excited about this chapter just because of that one part. Then we take normal degrees of action. There's a lot of people who take normal degrees of action, and that's the majority of people. Why? Because there's a lot of normalcy. So if it's normal, that is the masses or the middle class as he describes it. And then there are those people who are uber successful, who take massive action. And all of us use all 4 points in our lives to have success. We all have success in all 4 levels or degrees of action. A lot of us at parts do nothing. They hide from being unsuccessful. Usually happens within 90 days from the job. Nice going, man. Thanks. But most people live in the first three categories. They're doing nothing, they're retreating, or they're just living normal lives. And very few people, probably 5% of the population, takes massive action so that they could have uber or massive results. Ryan, thanks for coming in. So the first degree of action, people who do nothing. It does exactly what it says. People are doing nothing. These are people who have given up on learning. People who have given up on achieving. People who have basically given up on their dreams. Signs that you're doing nothing. I'm bored. I don't know what to do. Lethargy, right? They just have no energy. Complacency and lack of purpose. So if you know anybody, does anybody know anybody like that? Does anybody in the room know anybody who just like, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. You have no purpose. Right? 8 hours of TV consumption. There you go. No purpose, right? Don't know what to do. They're bored, so they turn on the tube so they don't have to think or learn anything new, right? And it's not anything educational that they put on the TV. They're watching court TV or cartoons or something that the very basic level person will watch. My son watches cartoons and he barely does that now and he's 5, right? So these are the things that those people do. And believe it or not, it takes a lot of energy to do nothing. You actually have to think and like, I'm doing nothing. Can you imagine what goes through the mind of somebody who just sits there and does absolutely nothing? Like, what is my purpose? What is going on? What am I doing here? And they start having doubts about themselves and lead into a depression because they're in a state of thought. It is so crazy to think, Lord, I am free. Thank you so much for coming in. We're talking about Grant Cardone, the 10X rule, and we're on chapter 7 right now, the 4 degrees of action. And the first action is doing nothing, but it still takes energy. Every single one of these actions take energy, people. So number 2, the example I have, I may have shared this in a scope last week or something. I remember I opened up a restaurant in my early 20s, and we had to open up all these wine boxes. And they had to go through the dishwasher, and you had to polish them to make sure that there were no spots on the wine glasses to put them on the table. And I remember we thought we were done, and they brought out like 5 more cases. Like, here's another 100-something glasses for you guys to shine. And the guy across from me, as I was shining these glasses, was like, this is dumb. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pretend like I'm doing it. He was doing nothing. It still took energy, but he would sit there and have one glass in his hand in case a manager looked at him. But he kept using the same glass, and he would never put it down. He was acting like he was doing something, but he was doing nothing that required energy, and nothing got done. I got a little perturbed, and I was like, dude, you better walk away or tell the boss you're not going to do anything, because I'm not going to sit here and shine them all, and you act like you're getting credit. It's like, dude, you're doing nothing. You may as well be doing something so that this can get done. And he couldn't think of it. So, second degree is retreaters. I love this part of it. It's called the butts. Yeah. Got a lot of names for that guy. I don't even remember who he is. I just remember the instance and thinking to myself, who thinks like that? Who thinks that doing the action but not actually doing the action is getting something done? And why would you pretend to do something? He was literally doing this to the same glass. Put that one down, take the next one. Let's get something done. It blew my mind, Ryan. It blew my mind. It still blows my mind to this day that people think that way. But I know people think that way. How do I know that? Because I work with people. So many people. I know COD. Thank you so much for coming in. Hey, dude, tell me. Man, Terry, what's going on? Terry, tell me you put in your name. Man, you're killing me, Terry. You got to change your profile and put in your name. Spinning their wheels. Just spinning their wheels. COD, if you're new to my scopes, man, feel free to follow me. Click on the Perry guy. And if you got people that you can invite it out with, please feel free to do so with that also. Second degree is retreat. Same thinking as going to collect a check but not willing to work. I don't understand that thinking, but I understand that it exists. So, retreaters take action in reverse in order to avoid negative experiences. Thanks, Cody. I appreciate you letting me know your name. They imagine... Okay, so retreaters take action in reverse in order to avoid negative experiences that they imagine keyword, will come as a result of taking action. Thank you so much for inviting your followers, Terry. I appreciate that. The retreater personifies the fear of success phenomenon. They have a fear of success. So as they get close to it and they see it, something stops them and they actually retreat and go back from it. He or she experiences results. What happens is they'll get to the success, and then I love this line. He or she experiences results that are not fruitful, therefore he or she didn't, or that they didn't perceive as fruitful. Like do-nothings, or people who do nothing, they believe that operating at their current level is in their best interest. So they retreat. They don't want to have success in fear that the results, that they'll get the results or their perceived results. I know people who have been uber successful. Someone will say to me, man, Ryan, I put out this ad on Facebook last week and I only got 40% conversion. Like 400 people watched it and 160 people opted in. And I'm like, do you understand that those are phenomenal results? Like the results are normally like less than 10% and you got 40% return. See, their perceived results, what do they want? Like 70, 80%? They don't have a realistic perception of what the results should be. Therefore, no matter what it is, they let themselves down. And then they say, I'm not going to take that action anymore. I'm going to retreat. That's not working for me. When in actuality, it worked at a high level for them. They claim to be retreating or believe to be retreating to avoid more rejection or failure because they had a perception that they failed. It almost never actual rejection or failure that impacted them, but their impression or evaluation of what failing and rejection mean that caused them to retreat. Think about that. It's what they thought the rejection was or what they thought the failure was that causes them to retreat, when in actuality they are having a tremendous amount of success by normal standards, but they don't understand that. Does anybody know anybody like this? I actually know a lot of people like this. A lot of people I work with are like, man, I didn't get anything done today. I'm like, wait a minute, let me run down your day. Let me look at your review of your day, and this is what I see, this is what I see, this is what I see. Why do you consider that a failure when I consider it a success? Guys, if you aren't celebrating your huge, or if you're not celebrating your small successes, Irina, how many phone calls have you put in today? How many phone calls and or touches have you put in today, Irina, while you're in here? How many? Let me know. I guarantee you that Irina's reached out to a bunch of people. And she may consider normal for her, but guess what? I guarantee you that those are all successes. So it is 11:30 her time in the morning. She's made 3 calls already towards her business. They're probably connection calls. She's probably tweeted, connected. She's connecting with me right now. Hello, Liz. How are you doing? All of these things are successes. If you can't appreciate the small successes, guess what? You're not going to appreciate the big successes. And if you're not appreciating the small successes, guess what? Boom. And that's a slow day for you. But the challenge is, right, in your mind, like, you still got up and you're taking action today, and those are successes. They may not be a success compared to yesterday in your mind, but they are still successes because every dial, every touch, everything counts. And too many people are discounting their successes, and because they're discounting their successes or putting them on a pedestal, they retreat because this isn't working. Celebrate your success every single day. Those who retreat justify why they're retreating. It takes a lot of energy, people, to retreat, because it took a lot of energy to get where you are, and then it took a lot of energy to say, maybe that's not for me. So it takes a lot of energy both ways. Hello, Beth Hoover. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. Long time no see. We're reviewing Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule, and we are doing Chapter 7 right now. So the third degree. Put a 3 up, guys, if you are ready for the third degree of action. And this one is the one, and he uses some harsh words in here, so they're not my words, they're Grant's words. Thank you so much. I appreciate you popping in. Long time no see. Love seeing you. And yes, 10X is where it's at. So the third degree of action is this. Juan Santiago, thank you so much for joining. You're probably coming in from Beth Hoover inviting you out, so thank you, Beth. The third degree is normal levels of action, guys. Everybody is familiar with this. Everybody knows a lot of people who are in normal levels of action. This is called the middle class in our life. These are people who are the most prevalent in society today. They're the most dangerous class because it represents, as I just described, the middle class. Why is it the most dangerous? Because it is what is determined acceptable. Like, hey, Johnny over there has a nice house, and I have a nice house, and he has a nice car, and I have a nice car, and things are good, and the bills are paid, and things are great. So we've taken enough action to be comfortable. Here's the thing. When things are normal, people become content. However, when market conditions change, I love this one, and people are negatively affected, the stock market changes. Good. Hey, Michael Chandler, how are you doing? Michael Chandler, 94, welcome to the room. When market conditions change, they lose their job. Woo, I had normal levels of action. I had a good 401k. I invested a little. I have just enough. And guess what? 3 months goes by without a job and it hits the fan. They panic because they realize they're vulnerable because they haven't taken massive action. If somebody is doing just enough, right, in terms of their health, Beth, you could appreciate this. Yep, getting by only, right? If someone's doing just enough for their health. Hey, I eat okay. You know what? I walk a mile a day. I do more exercise than the guy next to me. But then guess what? They get to the doctor and the doctor says, look at your vitals, right? Look at your vitals, man. Your blood pressure is through the roof. Your cholesterol is messed up. You're going to die in 3 months if you don't take massive action, people. If you don't start taking massive action in your health, your wealth, and all these other areas, guess what? You are susceptible to chaos. That could be death. It could be financial destruction. It could be a loss of a relationship. If you're not pouring into your spouse or your significant other or your children, guess what? You're going to lose them. If you're not taking massive action in those directions, you're going to lose them. So most people are content. So people have average lives. He describes it this: average marriage, an average career. But do they ever have real success at a high level? And that's the question. And I went through all that. Then there's massive action. And this is the most natural state, he says. And I'll share with you a couple examples of how this is in my life. Massive action, people. When you take massive action, it's the most natural state. How do we know? Look at kids. Do any of you have young children? Any of you have young children? Put a 1 in the box. I know that Liz may. Asha Tyson, thank you so much for joining and leaving so quickly. When you had small kids, because I know that you do, Liz, and you may not be able to tap the screen. I have a 5-year-old. He can get up early in the morning. As soon as he gets food, he is 100% go until the energy levels go down and he needs food again. Once he gets food, within 10 minutes, the kid is 100 miles an hour for the next 5 hours. Then he gets food again and he's another 100 miles an hour. As soon as he gets that fuel, he goes. That is massive action. He's playing, he's going, he's learning, he's absorbing. He wants to do things. He wants to go play, Daddy. I want to watch this. I want to do that. I want to do this. It's the most natural state. Massive action is actually the level that creates new problems. When you're creating new problems, guys, you're getting out of your comfort zone. When people are telling you, why the heck are you doing all of that? That's when you know you're making an impact. When people are saying to you, man, why are you taking so much action? What are you trying to prove? What do you need, a Mercedes? You don't need that. That's them negatively projecting onto you, but you know you're doing something right if the naysayers are doing something. So Grant said somebody came in, when he was starting his business, when he was 29, he was doing an event business. He would go to 40 businesses a day, every single day. He would get up at 7 and he wouldn't get back to the hotel room or wherever he was at till 9 o'clock at night, and then he was doing follow-up calls. He said that somebody actually wanted to ride with him, a real estate agent. He goes, man, your business is blowing up. I want to see what you do. Can I ride in the car with you? Roman Gonzalez, thank you so much for joining. After 3 days, the guy goes, I can't do this any longer. I just cannot do this any longer. I can't go at this level of action. So I implore to you, if you want results, massive results in your life, whether it be health, fitness, your business, in your relationships, in your spirituality, your relationship with God or Christ or whatever religion you are, you must take massive action to create that for yourself. And most people are unwilling to do it. So those who have uber success know that they're taking massive action. So the 4 levels. This is chapter 7 of Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule. If anybody, Jill, how are you doing? Welcome. If anybody wants to get the book to follow along with me on the 10X Rule, feel free to do so. That is my website. I am Ryan Roy. Find out more information about me. I am a coach. I help people get into action mode. You can go to ryanroy.me. If you want to get the book, the least expensive place I found it was on Amazon, bit.ly/action 10X will get you there. Beth Momentum Salon, thank you so much for being here. This is the end of the scope, guys. Go and take massive action. I will review really quickly. The 4 degrees of action are this. 1, you can do nothing. 2, you can retreat from taking action from fear of success. 3, you can take normal levels of action and be normal. The book is phenomenal, right? And so I'm reviewing it every single day, chapter by chapter. If you want to review, please feel free to come in and review it with me. And then the last one is, guys, take massive action. If you want 10x results in life, you got to take 10x actions. And if you're not taking the actions necessary to be successful, don't be upset when you are not what you consider to be successful. Grant, I believe, puts a dollar amount based on what I'm reading on success. That's how he relates to success. But as I mentioned, if you want to be fruitful in your relationship, success to me is being an amazing father. I spend massive amounts of time with my son every single day. The reason I do this is because success to me is making sure that he knows that he's loved and that he has the tools, and I teach him the tools that he needs for him to have success in his life. And happiness is a big part of success, and knowing somebody you have to rely on is part of being a success, and knowing that you're a team and a family and close-knit is success to me, and I make sure those things happen. I hate whiners, so I love the book so much. I'm not a big whiner fan either. I'm not a victim fan. I don't like the victim mentality. So if you want to follow me on this journey through the book, feel free to click on the little Perry guy in the corner and follow me if you're not already, Beth. This concludes my review of chapter 7 of the 10X Rule. Tomorrow is chapter 8. The average is a failing formula is the chapter, so we'll talk about that. And I want to acknowledge those of you still in the room. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here. Roman Gonzalez, thank you for being here. Beth, I appreciate you. And Cody, let me check out. 0 followers, following 6 people. Completely new to the Periscope world. You're following Grant and Irina, but you're not following me, my man. And you're probably like, how does that guy know that I'm not following? So feel free to follow me by clicking on the little Perry guy. And have a great day, guys. You can spend, but you chose to spend it here with me. Sorry for the flip of the camera. And for that, I want to acknowledge your time and thank you for being here. Till tomorrow, we'll talk to you later. Bye.